Space family, and some of you are probably to remind some of the house rules for those. And the toilets, I think, most of So this evening's theme is about this what? Does anybody remember except the speaker? Losing gracefully and winning humbly, contradiction. So we have very, very privileged to have Dr. Dusha Novakovic. Got it right, with us, and she has a PhD in mathematics and computer science and has been working at the academic level across many universities in the UK for about 30 years. And she's been a lecturer and the head of the school, but also she's a meditator for the last 20 years, and she likes to look at how science and spirituality can come and work together. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Dusha on stage to share her thoughts about the evening's theme, which is loving gracefully and winning humbly. And also a special welcome to those online. I know there's many of you watching online, so welcome to you too.
Yes. Okay. Can you hear me better now? Okay, so good evening again. Thank you all for coming, for those who came, and tuning in for those who are online. So we have a very exciting topic, and perhaps partly contradictory, as Daksha said, losing gracefully and winning humbly. Let's see what it takes to achieve this. So hopefully by the end of the evening we get the answer. However, I'm not going to go straight to the answer. Let's just see what it takes to achieve this, to lose gracefully and to win humbly. What does it really mean to win? And what does it really mean to lose? What is the definition of success at all? Right? The winners are successful. Yeah? So you might think that it doesn't really, well, it is important to know what the success is, but does it, so you may think it's not so important. However, our definition of success can define the direction of our life. Have you realized this before? Because instinctively, we as beings, we have inclination, we want to be successful. We want to do everything that will make me successful. However, if I have a wrong definition of success, I can be trying whole life to go towards this, and once I achieve it, I realize that I've wasted my life. I'll give you an example. Somebody I know was asking for help because he knew that I'm trying to help people. Not so many on individual level, but, well, he didn't know where to turn. So he spoke to me. And his story is, he was born and brought up in Wales by a working class family. And during the Industrial Revolution in Wales, it did really well economically, so they managed to work hard earn enough money and get also good job, progress and get good jobs. So they managed to switch to middle class. And they were so proud of this that they made sure that their little son knew how important it was to stay in this middle class. So they sent him to private school, they sent him to another private school, and then when he went to university, he couldn't study just what he wanted. He had to study what middle class studies to make sure that he's earning enough money to stay in the middle class. And then he had to marry a woman within the middle class, yeah, to make sure he stays there. I mean, this was all the things on the list that need to be ticked for him to be successful, and for him, because his parents made some effort and managed, which is not easy to go from one class to another, they managed to switch into the higher class, and they made sure that he understood that he needs to stay there and not do something wrong. Anyway, he married into middle class, he got a very good job with 6-digit number, per year, and he ticked, had children and made sure they have enough to go to private school, so he ticked all the boxes, tick. And then when he ticked all the boxes, he was in his early 50s, and he realized that he is not happy. Okay? And then because he wasn't happy, first of all, he didn't know why, but he was, analyzing, introspecting, all that, and he realized that whole his life he was just ticking boxes, chasing success that was not really a success. What do we call this in life when we chase, and we achieve, and then we realize this is not it? What do we call this? What is it? Never enough. Well, it was not enough because it was too little that he achieved, or there is always more. But what was the problem there was that he didn't have the right definition of success. We call this midlife crisis. Yeah? So common. So really, if you think that the definition of success is not so important, you are wrong. Definition of success is very important because we dedicate our life to whatever we think success is. And if it is wrong, midlife crisis is inevitable. It's inevitable. And this is why it's so common. It used to be mid-50s, but now I can see it's coming earlier and earlier, that people realize that they misunderstood what life was about. Okay. So, what is the major mistake we make in life? Okay, definition of success, but parallelly also, I'll share a story. There is a community, small group of people that lives on an island, and this island provides everything these people need, so it's a self-contained island. And they live happily on this island. And one day, two of those friends are lying on the beach and observing all those ships going across the ocean. And one of them says, "Wow, would it not be very nice to be on one of those ships one day?" And the friend asks him, "Why? Why would you want to be there?" And he says, "Well, people say, when you cross on the continent, they have all sorts of things there." He said, "Why do you want to go to the continent?" He says, "Well, I've heard there are many schools, I can learn this, I can learn that." And whatever he said, his friend asked him why. Why? So he said, well, if I learn this, then I can get a job. And then when I get a job, I can learn more, and then I can be promoted. And the friend kept asking, why? He said, well, maybe then I will get married, and I have children, and then maybe I get another promotion, and I get, lots of money. And the friend kept asking why. And then finally he said, well, maybe one day I earn so much money that I can lie on the beach all day long. Okay? That's where he started. So, what is wrong with this approach to life? Any idea? What awareness is missing? Okay, being present, but more concretely, what is missing there? Because the friend was asking why you want to do this, why you want to do that. Eventually they came to the conclusion what he wanted. He wanted to be able to lie on the beach all day long. Okay? However, also we concluded that he wasn't aware what he wanted. He wasn't aware that he already had what he wanted because he didn't know what he wants. So he wasn't aware. I mean, he was lying on the beach. He was aware he was lying on the beach. Okay? However, because he wasn't aware what he wanted, he didn't know that he had what he wanted already. Okay? So it's very important to know what we want in life. And that's where in parallel comes the definition of success. I want to be successful, but then, what is success? So far so good? Yeah? Okay. So, this is what is missing in life, in most people's life, to have clear aim in life, but with the correct definition of success. That means we need to have an aim that is worth living for. And only then can we work out what is the right way. And only then can we even start thinking, what does it mean to be a winner? Right now, the definitions of losing and winning are, I lose if I don't manage to do what I wanted. The current definitions, yeah? And I win if I manage to do what I wanted. But let's see what happens to this definition as we progress and understand things deeper. So we have to make sure that I have an aim that's worth living for. What does it mean to be worth living for? That means something that I'm going to dedicate my whole life to, and when I achieve it, I'm going to be successful, and I'm never going to regret anything on the way, and I'll be happy with my achievement. And then I will be a true winner. So, what is the aim? So on a physical level, we can go as high as you want. Let's say to have my own business is my aim, to have a successful business, to earn lots of money, or to be famous, or to have family, or to, I don't know, any other example of aim in life? What do you guys want to achieve? Yeah? I've mentioned the most common ones, right? And however high we go with the aim of life, if it is of physical nature, it's not going to be good enough, because however high it is, and if it is of physical nature, when I achieve this, I will want more. Yeah? I want more, because however high it is, if I achieve it, I want more. However, if I don't have it in me to achieve it, I'll be killing myself. Okay? So neither of those are good. Never enough, but also aiming too high and I cannot achieve it.
But when you were saying about aim, like the physical aim, but like aiming to have a job, or some people may say, I aim, those who don't have a house yet, I aim to purchase a house one day. But those are the physical things that one
That's right.
kind of, as a human being,
Yes.
kind of
Yes. Yeah, I understand. That's not an aim. These are just the means, milestones in life. So, for example, it was mentioned in the introduction that I work as I work in academia. I teach mathematics and computer science. That was never my aim, never. But it happened to be my profession, and I'm going to use the skills that I've acquired through time in order to share love with other people. So I'm going to give happiness to people who want to know mathematics. And I'll be part of them acquiring a qualification, which is going to make them happy. But that's not my aim. My aim is, because if my aim was to be a professor of mathematics, and I didn't achieve it, then I would consider myself as a loser. Yes. However, if I happen to do paintings instead, if I manage to share my love and happiness through my paintings, I would be successful, even though I didn't manage to become a professor of mathematics. So that's not an aim, it's only the means. Do you see the difference? Yeah? So that reminds me to give you another example. You all know the company 3M that produces glues and stickers. 3M, yeah? At some point they were aiming, and they thought they came up with a brilliant formula to make a super glue. Okay? They thought everything made sense in a logical way. This formula was going to make super glue, super glue. Better than what we call super glue, right? And when they invested a lot in the formula, and they invested, lots of resources, people, materials, all that, it turned out to be a very weak glue. Okay? Did they consider themselves as losers? No. You know what they did? They produced Post-it notes. Do you ever see a desk without Post-it notes? No. So they made even bigger business than with the super glue. If they consider themselves as losers, that would be it. They would be losers. But because they said, no, we came up with something, it happened to be weak glue, but let's see what we can do with this. And they made even bigger business. It depends how you see the opportunity and what you do with this. But it's very important to see yourself as, to see the events as opportunities. I'll give you another example. This is from my personal life. I had an accident, and just by coincidence, it happens to be on 4th of October, 11 years ago, which is today. And I didn't blame anybody. I just got on with it. I completely focused on the recovery. And when I recovered, or during the recovery, I tried to use the opportunity to learn everything that this situation brought, to make the most of the situation that has happened. So I wanted to learn the most I could from that situation because it wasn't pleasant. So there must have been some lesson, I thought, in it. Okay, that all went. I recovered. I used the opportunity. I learned a lot. I learned more through that experience than any lecture or theoretical lesson could give me. Okay. And then one day I was giving a talk at LSE in central London. And after the talk, a lady comes to me and she wanted to ask me something, but she's introducing herself. And she's introducing herself as, I'm a victim of hit and run. She's identifying with the victim. Okay, she didn't say, I was hit and people escaped, or I experienced this and that. No, she labeled herself. She said, I'm a victim of hit and run. So she is using her whole life through seeing her life through this lens. I'm a victim. If you label yourself as a victim, you'll be a loser. No two ways about it. Okay. So she said, I'm afraid to get out of the house. I can't ride the bike. I can't do this. I mean, she's able physically. She didn't lose any physical ability. But mentally, she lost a lot because she saw herself as a victim. So, if 3M saw themselves as victims, they wouldn't be as successful. Domino pizzas tried several times, it didn't work. But now every street has domino pizzas. Why? Because they learned from the previous experiences and they improved. They didn't say, oh, we are victims, oh, poor me, I don't know what to do. You see, it's an opportunity to learn. When I was getting my previous job, I learned more from the interviews that I went to get this job than from my previous jobs altogether. I wasn't losing when I didn't get the job. I was gaining because my experience was richer, my knowledge was deeper, and I was understanding the job better and better. I wasn't losing. Why? Because I saw an opportunity in everything that was happening in order to learn. Do you see the difference? This is the difference between losing and winning. And not whether what I wanted happened. So I went to those jobs to learn. To these interviews I went in order to learn. So if I got a job, I would get it. If I not, I would come out with an experience richer. I would know more. And I was always a winner. I was never sad that I didn't get a job. But I never missed the opportunity to learn more. And the interviews were better and better. And eventually, I got the job. And I did the job. And that was good. I mean, I was never ambitious in my career, to be honest with you. Never. But somehow, I was always oriented towards taking the opportunity and not missing an opportunity to learn. And just that passion for learning took me up and up and up in my career. I was enjoying everything I did, and I loved learning. And this is how it happened. I was never ambitious. To be honest with you, when I started my career, most colleagues that were retiring as senior lecturers. And only a year or two into my career, I became a senior lecturer. And I said, oh, I made it. Now I can stay on this level until the end of my career. I don't need to do anything. And I was never ambitious. Not to do, but not to do anything. Of course I need to do, but I don't have to worry about my career. However, because I was passionate about what I was doing it well, enjoying it, and wanted to learn, and it went up by itself, really. I never had that ambition. So, and then what happened? I had this very high position And because it was very high position, and I was a woman, scientist, and foreigner, obviously I reached the ceiling. Yeah? And also I was mingling amongst people who thought that I really did well in my career and I should really respect them for giving me such a high position job. Okay, I mean, I respected them, and what I appreciated was their trust in me that I can do the job. And that was okay, it worked well. However, because it was such a high position, it became heavily political. And as you see, what my interest is, I want to grow spiritually, and politics is not on my agenda ever. Definitely not part of my aim. And of course, politics means a little bit of corruption, and I'm definitely not into corruption. And they decided to leave. Okay? I calculated my finances. I decided I should be financially okay. I don't really have to work that hard anyway and have such a big position. And when I decided to leave, they thought, wow, you know, we gave her such a job. She doesn't even realize how good this position is. She's not appreciating it. So, and some of them probably thought that I was a loser. But they didn't know what I was doing, right? However, believe me, that was the best ever decision I made in my life. And what I was thinking then was, how come I didn't come up with this formula long time ago? You know, as a mathematician, I should have seen the formula before. But I guess it wasn't the right time. And also that idea had to mature. I needed time for the idea to mature to come up with a solution and put it in practice. So definitely good decision. Why? Because I didn't have an aim to be successful in my career, to be a professor in mathematics, to have a house and car and whatever else. My aim was to whatever I do to experience, to express, to share, to give love and peace and happiness. Yeah? So that I can come to a point where I'm going to experience all those things in an unconditional way. Yeah? Not my happiness to depend on what somebody else does. Not to consider myself as a winner only if I score more in this life, but to use an opportunity to enjoy and to share love and happiness. That's what's going to make me a winner. You know, when we play board games or sport, whatever it is, if I play to score high, and if it happens that I didn't score high, I'll be a loser. And if it happens that I score high, I'll consider myself as a winner. But if I play to enjoy and not for the score, I'll always be a winner. Yeah? This is okay. So my aim is to achieve that state of consciousness, to be able to be unconditionally happy, loving, and peaceful. But on the way, I'm going to do many things, like this, for example. This is a physical seminar, right? I'm doing something physically. I've come here and I'm speaking now. However, this is my milestone in order to achieve my aim. Even teaching mathematics is a milestone because I'm giving love and happiness to those who want to learn it. Do you see the difference? So that is real success, to go forward towards that. And some people might say, is it even possible to achieve unconditional happiness? Well, I say, I don't know. But if I aim towards it, I'll be closer and closer and closer. Okay? But if I have a physical aim and I aim for it, I achieve it, I want more. If I don't achieve it and I don't have it in me, as we said earlier, I'm killing myself. However, if I have an aim to be unconditionally happy, even just working on it, I'm going to become closer and closer. Even if I don't achieve 100%. But the closer I am to 100%, I'm going to be happier and happier, and my life is going to be more and more enjoyable. Okay? But if I achieve it, what's there else to ask for if I'm unconditionally happy? So do you understand why physical aim is not worth living for? It has to be spiritual. And all those things on the way that I need to do are just the milestones to bring me closer. They can be physical, milestones can be physical, but to bring me closer to my big aim that's worth living for. Okay. You know, even if you have an aim to help the hungry, the poor, the whatever else, it's not good enough. It has to be spiritual. It has to be spiritual. You need to find a spiritual aim in life. So you might be helping the poor and the hungry, whatever, but that will be just the means of sharing love and happiness, and not aim. You know, I know a group of women who go to Africa regularly wanting to help these people there. And you know what they've told me? These people in Africa told them, don't bother us anymore, we want to live the life we live. Because it's out of context. I just want to feel good by helping somebody. Take it in the context. Do they want it? Do they need it? Am I giving what they need? Or just giving regardless, whatever, just to feel better? So it's a milestone, not an aim in life. Okay. So now, everything that happens in life, we can use an opportunity to learn. Each one of us, I don't know about you, but for myself, I will say that I can do much better than I'm doing at the moment. I know that I have that ability within me. I know that my potential is higher than where I'm at right now. So what do I need to do in order to achieve that potential? Right now, I know as much as I know. And that potential, at the potential, I know everything that I'm able to know. What do I mean by knowing? Knowing, not having worldly knowledge like geography, history, politics. I'm not talking about that knowledge. I'm talking about knowledge about myself. Who am I? Why am I here? What's the point of life? That knowledge. Truly, who am I and what do I want to achieve? Which is the topic, it's relevant to the topic tonight. So, if I don't know it all now, I'm here. When I know all of it, I'm at my potential. What has to happen between here and here? Some process of learning. How am I going to learn? I can learn through many things. I can learn through talks like this. I can learn through reading, making sure what I accept as true is really true. I can learn through meditation, and I hope this is not surprising to you because you have come to a meditation center. Hopefully this is not strange that I suggest. And that's all, more or less, it's an easy way. However, if I don't learn it in an easy way, it's going to be through challenges. Okay, which is more practical and a little bit harder. However, if it happens, I have to make sure that I take the opportunity to learn. So all that happens in our life, all the events, all the situations, we can learn from. So the definition of, the new definition of a winner and a loser is, to win means to use every opportunity to learn, whatever happens, use the opportunity to learn and come closer to the potential. Or definition of a loser is to miss an opportunity to learn and stay where you are. Not progress, not learn, not going closer to your aim, to your potential. Okay? So the way we introduce the aim is really my potential, reaching my potential. So that is the difference. So I'm going to be a winner if I use every opportunity to learn so that I go closer to my potential. The closer I'm to the potential, the more I can enjoy life, the more pleasant the life is going to be. If I miss the opportunity to learn, I'll be a loser. So now, if you remember the original definitions of winner and loser, and the new definitions of winner and loser, the fundamental difference between these two is, in the first definition, is not up to me whether I'm winning or losing. It depends on the situation. It depends on the score. It depends on whatever happens. While the new definition is whether you use the opportunity to learn or not, the control is in my hand now. It is up to me whether I'm going to use the opportunity to learn or not. So this is very important difference because I have control. So if I decide to always learn from the opportunities, I will always be a winner. Whilst in the original definition, I didn't have control over it. It depended on the score. So I will always be a winner if I have a good aim in life and if I enjoy my way to my aim. Enjoyment is also part of being a winner. Why? Because maybe not consciously, but we all, each one of us knows that certain amount of enjoyment needs to be received in life in order to be psychologically okay, mentally okay. Some enjoyment we need to receive. Okay? I'm sure you knew this even though you may have not spelt it, right? We all, and this is why we all want to enjoy, we want to enjoy. However, when at some point, when I was aware of this, I said, could I possibly rearrange my life so that I enjoy all the time and I do only things that I enjoy? And then I went through the list of the things that I enjoy. I went through the list, I took everything out that I didn't enjoy. And I said, okay, let me see if I can live my life by doing only those things that I enjoy. And not only live my life, but to function practically in life. Bills to be paid, the house to be cleaned, to cook, to provide, to live, function life. And believe it or not, I don't know what you think, whether you would be able to do it or not. Do you think you would be able to function practically in life by doing only those things that are on your enjoy list? Yes? Are you living that life? Very good. Congratulations. I'll still share my story because there is a continuation of this. I wasn't sure if I could or not. But, believe it or not, I managed. So, I would get up early in the morning to meditate, which I enjoy. I would go to a class, spiritual class, which I enjoy very much. And only after doing those two things, only then I would go to work. But I also happened to have a profession that I enjoy. So I enjoyed even that. But I was also enjoying the fact that I managed to do something personally for myself, two things before I even went to earn money. And then in the evening I would give courses like this, which hopefully you can see I enjoy. I really enjoy doing this. Or I would do some sport, which I enjoy. Or I would socialize, which I enjoy. Or I would do some bills, and I like numbers, sorting out things I enjoy. Cleaning I would enjoy because I would put some recording in my ears, listen, because I've cleaned so much in my life, I don't need to think hard, I do it automatically. So I managed to sort out my life and enjoy. To function practically in life and enjoy all the time. And one day, this is the but. One day, I started feeling tightness in my chest. And I was wondering, why? I'm enjoying life. I'm really liking my life. What is this tightness in my chest? And because I'm surrounded by spiritual people and philosophers, I kept asking, and some people were saying, oh, maybe this, maybe that, ta, ta, ta. And one day somebody said, do you have fear of something? I said, fear? Not that I'm aware of. No. But while I was thinking about this, I realized that I don't really conceptually understand what fear is. And there was a talk in central London on fear, so I decided to go to learn more about this. And then I went to the talk, and I was waiting for the talk to start, and the speaker was late. The GPS took him to a wrong, same street, wrong, whatever code, I don't know where it went. And I was there trying to help and to listen, but the speaker wasn't there, so they asked me to give the talk. I came to learn about fear, and they asked me to talk about fear. Anyway, so you can imagine, I had 1 minute notice, and you can imagine how fast my brain was working. Well, 1 million miles an hour, so said, yeah, so to say. And, you know, I had to be genuine there. I had to share my thoughts, you know, what was thinking about fear and what else. But the point is, lots of things came up to my mind. 40 minutes later, the speaker arrives, and he starts speaking. Of course, I gave him the stage. He starts speaking. So in combination of that, working it out in such a fast way, in combination with what the speaker was saying, by the end of the talk, by the end of the event, I clicked. I really suffered from fear. That tightness in the chest was fear. And I also discovered what I'm afraid of. Any guesses? No, I mean, no. Yes. I was afraid that something would change, something would happen in my life that would change my pattern that I enjoy very much. So we can never really lie to ourselves. Never. Subconsciously, I knew that wasn't the solution. And you know what I learned with that lesson? Of course, we do need to receive certain amount of enjoyment to be spiritually and mentally healthy. However, the point is not in doing only those things that you enjoy. The point is to learn how to enjoy everything you need to do. And that is a talk in itself. But that is part of being a winner. Okay, so whatever challenge you have, go for it, face it, solve it. The solution will be sweet, and the learning will be beneficial because you're bringing you closer to your potential. So the person who has an aim worth living for and is focused on it and enjoys the way to it is by definition a winner and never a loser. Okay? Because I'm doing it in order to enjoy and not to score highly. Numbers don't matter there. Is this okay? Okay. So, are there any questions? Is it all clear? Sorry?
Want to say something?
No, I think speechless is speechless. So even Mike won't help. Very good.
Well, life is all about learning, isn't it? We learn from our mistakes and we become wiser as we grow older.
True, but the current life is about learning. But once you learn everything, there will nothing to be learned. You will be your perfect self. And your life will be wow. And can you imagine if all of us achieved that potential, the best self? What would the world be like? This is what inspires me to do the talks and to pass on knowledge. Because we can only make it together. Me by myself, I won't create a beautiful world. But if we all gather, put our efforts together, we stand a chance. Very well said. The boat is very important. When you know the boat has to go together, you cannot have pieces of boat and we all come to the aim. We have to stick together and go together to the aim. Very well said. Thank you.
Sometimes it's said that, I totally agree with you, life is a learning process. Some difficult situations arise, you learn from it, you become a better person. But there are some situations, for example, if you know that encountering, for example, a difficult person, it's not going to do you any good, then best to stay away from that individual or individuals. And in that instant, it may not be a good idea. On that as a learning experience.
Okay. So, my potential is my personal potential. And just like any potential, my potential is pulling me unconditionally towards its realization. Is this okay? So, if I am experiencing challenges which are opportunities to learn, it means I haven't come, there is a distance between now and my potential. It means I need to learn. How am I going to learn? Easy or through challenges? Okay. So my potential is invoking a situation in order to offer me opportunity to learn something and come closer to potential. And instead of seeing it as opportunity, I see it as an obstacle, and I don't learn. In order to have a challenge in life, what is the difference between challenge and pleasure? Or enjoyment, let's use the same terminology. When somebody asked you, what is 2 + 2 for the first time in your life? You didn't know, nobody gets born with this knowledge. I guarantee we didn't know, nobody knew. It was a challenge, right? But later on I learned what is 2 + 2. It wasn't a challenge anymore. I knew how to do it. But for me, my personal case is I even enjoyed numbers. The difference between challenge and enjoyment is challenge I don't know, enjoyment I know how to do this and I'm enjoying it. That means the more we know, the more we are going to enjoy. So, my potential is bringing me an opportunity. I'm experiencing a challenge. In order for the situation to be challenging, very often somebody plays a challenging or maybe even call it negative role, the old language, yeah? Negative role in the situation in order to make it challenging. So what am I doing in this? I'm taking your example, difficult personality. Although in my vocabulary, the word difficult doesn't exist. But yeah. So this so-called difficult character is creating a challenge for me. So what am I doing? Am I going to use the opportunity to learn from this challenge situation so I go closer to my potential? Or am I going to get stuck in, why did she say that? Why did he do that? Going in circles, in tornado, never growing, getting stuck. And when we don't learn from the opportunity that was offered, I don't learn the lesson will come again. And guess what? It's going to be in a more challenging format. Why? Because I didn't learn first time around because I wasn't open enough for learning. So that means I need to open up and learn. That's why the challenge is going to be even harder. So difficult characters in our life are our teachers, not somebody to run away from.
Would you say that you would face that person, or would you just step back and keep away from that person? Or you were saying about these challenges and the characters of these people. So if you come across a person who's very challenging, and you think, no, I can't deal with this, I rather take 10 steps back, keep away from this person, or what would you do? Would you present yourself? Would you take this as an opportunity to not challenge the person, but deal with the challenging situation?
Yes.
Do you really want to in life? Because sometimes there's so many other things that you've got to be dealing with,
Okay.
like your work, your family, your home, your day-to-day life, your commitments.
Yes. So, first of all, the closer the challenging personality is to us, and the harder it is to go away from them, the more important lesson they are bringing. If somebody is rude to me on the street, I pass by, I don't get affected, and I never see this person again. It's easy. However, if it is my child, if it is my parent, if it is my partner, can I get away? Not easy. And for these examples I gave, really, not, you can't. You can't run away from a child or a parent. That means the closer it is, of course, if it is a colleague, yes, you can go. But it's not straightforward. You have to change life, change this, change that. Okay, but it's possible. However, what we have to make sure is, even if it is possible to go away, we have to make sure that we are not running away. What does it mean? That means I need to learn everything that this situation is offering before I decide to go. So, now that we have given this example, we can divide everything that happens in life. Any situation in life is going to be definitely a test. What is the purpose of a test? To tell me where I'm at. The test will tell me, am I doing well, or is it a weakness and I need to learn? So it's always a test. But in the same time, while being a test, it can also be a lesson to learn or a signpost. So, if it is a lesson to learn, I learn. If I learn everything that I need to learn, or I can get out of the situation, according to my abilities, and there is nothing else to learn, or I even start picking up something that I don't want to learn, that is a good indication, it's a signpost. Go. However, we have to make sure it's not a signpost if it isn't, because if it is a lesson but I interpret it as a signpost, I will run away from the lesson. This is quite deep, so are you catching this? Are you understanding what I'm saying? Yeah?
As he said, it's a learning process, and that's okay. We all have faced them. It could be a slightly more complicated one, which you may regret you got involved in the first place. Yeah?
Yes, but
Some example of that's been given, like mother, your parents, your children. They may be challenging, but you know, at the end of the day, there's a bond between you. You know that eventually, or hopefully, you'll come back to them, whatever. But if it's someone not that closely associated to you, but there is some meaning to them with you, sometimes it can become a bigger problem. You know, you may do something to them, they may do something to you, they may start talking to other people about you, and the problem will get bigger and bigger. I wouldn't like to face those challenges or think of it as a learning process necessarily.
Yes, but all those things that are happening are a consequence of something we have done before. Why did I go closer? Why did I allow this to happen? Why did I get attached in one way or another? Of course, when we do, this is why we have to be careful what we do. Because, you know, we live in this world where there is cause and effect. Everything I do has a consequence. So, you know, I cannot say, oh, it's very hard to have children, it's so hard to look after my child. But, you know, I have it because I wanted it. So, it's my responsibility as a parent to look after it. But I'll give you another example. For example, with my mom, it's not that we don't get on, but we are on completely different wavelengths. And because I was aware of this, but she lives in one country, I live in another country, I never had a problem that we were different. But I knew that if I want to become my perfect self and reach my potential, I need to settle whatever I have with my mom. So when I left that big job that I mentioned earlier, I decided to go back to mom, even though I knew that would be the biggest challenge I've had in my life. However high jobs I had and however many people I had in my life, I had no challenge whatsoever. I mean, I had, but I was solving bit by bit because I was learning. I reached the point when it was all the same what the character was like. But with my mom, she was the only one who could touch my buttons. But this is why I went there, to the source of the difficulty, to settle and to learn more, because I knew the real source of lessons is there. Why? Because there is a problem, and because it's the role of the mother. Too close. There is no running away. So I know for a fact that she is just playing a role in my life to teach me what I need to learn in order to achieve my best self. And of course, you cannot believe that I didn't have challenges in life. I mentioned that accident, 6 months off work, one huge operation and many small operations. Lots of challenge there. And many more, but I didn't mention them, so I don't, we don't have time to go into them. But it wasn't just smooth. And if it was smooth, I would never be able to sit here and talk to anybody, because I wouldn't have learned anything. Thanks to those challenges that I've had in life, and facing them and solving them and learning from them, I can now share with you. Otherwise, I wouldn't have nothing to say. So learning. This is what makes you successful, and this is what makes you a winner. Okay. So time is flying when you're enjoying yourself. I think it's time for meditation now. Okay, let's do 2 minutes of meditation. Okay, so sit back and relax. If possible, it would be beneficial to have both feet on the floor, if that's comfortable. Otherwise, whatever is comfortable will do. And now, let's detach from all the physical surroundings, objects, sounds, whatever is going on. Let's leave it all behind. somewhere and go deep within. Go within. Deeper and deeper. Literally visualize yourself sinking within, going deeper. And go all the way until you reach that point of absolute silence. And experience that silence. Experience the peace that comes with the silence. Merge with the silence. Be silence. And this is the silence that is going to allow me to get in touch with my real aim in life that's worth living for. And work towards it. And be an ultimate winner. Always learning on the way to my best self. And while maintaining this connection with the silent space within, gently bring your attention back to the room. Thank you. Okay.
Just make a few announcements. So you join me in thanking Dusha. This wonderful and very, very simple tips that I've been picking up from our talk. A couple of words, I wouldn't even say sentences, but words that I'd like to emphasize that I picked up from our talk. Enjoy. No? Whatever you do, enjoy, right? And any difficulty is actually there for you to learn something. So learning was another word that I picked up from what you were sharing. And one of the things I was remembering when she was talking about her mom is that, like on a daily basis, we always want to do the easy task first and leave the hardest one till the last, so let's get this done and then I'll look into it. And often months passes by and you still haven't done it, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So thank you for reminding us, let's kill the frog first thing in the morning, as they say in the academic language, is that hardest thing you crack first, and then you'll see and won't be lingering on. Thank you once again. And just to remind you that we're starting a Raj Yoga course from tomorrow. So it's going to be Wednesday and Thursday evenings. And this is in person. Most of the courses we've been offering online for the last couple of years, but this will be in person. If any of you are interested, those who are sitting here, those listening, watching, 5:30 to 6:30, Wednesdays and Thursdays for a few weeks. And every Mondays and Thursdays, we're still continuing to offer the online meditation. That's from 7 to 7:30. But our quiet room is open. So any time during the day, which is generally after 10 o'clock, we're here. and most evenings till 5:30, and some evenings we're here till after 8. So you're welcome to come and use the quiet room. If you haven't yet subscribed onto our YouTube channel or subscribed to receive our newsletter, please do so. And our next week talk is going to be about overcoming fear and insecurities. And Sister Anne will be sharing with us. And every week we bring you, and we talk to you about one of the products. And this week is self-mastery cards. It's a set of quite a few cards, virtue cards, that you can, put it in a basket, pick up one every day, and nice way to start your day with, and also, friends, family, at work. A lot of people like these cards. And there's various varieties of these cards in our shop, so feel free to browse on your way out. And go home safely. Thank you, Dusha.
Thank you.